Hey, what's going on YouTube? Marine X back at it again. This is a real one, okay? I see a lot of folks that are doing EDC pouch drops. They do them monthly, they do them weekly, they seem to almost do them daily. And I myself am a pouch boy. Been converted since I would say late 2022. And I've found a way to thoughtfully use my pouch. And I'm gonna show you what's actually useful in your pouch in 2024. All right, so once again, just jumping right into this, man, like everyone always talks about everyday carry about pouches, and you may see the content on YouTube. And I've done a couple of these in the past. I've done luxury pouches. I've done some of my everyday carry pouches. This was my last pouch that I had. I put this together in January. I was a fan of this. Don't get it twisted. There's still some remnants of this around. This is the Roaring Fire Pico Pouch Pro, and a big fan of this. It kind of did everything that I needed it to do, but I'm moving on because we're entering the spring and summer. I want bigger tools for bigger projects and more robust outings. I'm out longer. I'm going to cigar shops. I'm hanging out with buddies. This thing here just kind of was okay, but there were some things that were lacking from it, specifically being able to put like my full-size Leathermans as well as drill bits in here and all that other type of stuff. So that leads me to the Nutsack Commander pouch. That's the pouch that we're using specifically for this. The Nutsack Commander, now full disclosure, they sent this out to me. I may or may not do a review on this pouch, but I am for sure testing it out to see if I like it or not, so that makes life a lot easier. It does have the MOLLE attached. It's ready to be attached to MOLLE. This one, I like the fact that I can actually put a Hero clip on it, and that's the first thing a part of my pouch. This is a Hero clip mini, which is fantastic for being able to mount this to another item or mount items to it, right? So if I have some keys or something I want to throw on it. I have the front pocket, which I purposely keep empty. Okay, I used to always force myself to use every part of the pouch. Don't feel a need to use every single part of your pouch because it exists. This is open now for receipts. It's open if my wife hands me something. It's open for whatever. You know, like the other day I took my daughter to go get her 1-year-old shots. I was able to throw her insurance card in here and stuff like that. So I don't need to completely pack it out. This does have full grain leather accents on it. It's very, very nice. It has leather pull tabs, YKK zippers. I think number 5 YKK zippers. Immediate improvements I would say would be some aqua guard. Not only would I think it would be more water resistant, I think it would be sexy AF, right? But let's just jump into the pouch itself to show you how I have this thing decked out. So this is the pouch, the overview of it all together. This is my pouch. There are many like it, but this one is mine, okay? So let's just jump in here from left to right. You get a full kind of display of what everything looks like before I completely dismantle it. So you kind of see what that looks like. All right, so there's some things about the pouch I don't like immediately. You kind of see how items creep themselves out without me even doing anything. Now, this Woobin isn't in there. We'll talk about that. But items do creep themselves out, and I often find myself doing stuff like this, pushing them back in or whatever. But, you know, it is what it is. So let's start over on this side. The pouch does do a full clamshell. That's a good thing. So we'll start over here. This is the Woobin T4. This light will release very, very soon from Woobin. Woobin is trying to continue to innovate. I've been testing this light out for a couple of months now. Now, this light that I keep in my pouch is, I always try to make sure the light in my pouch is significantly different from the light that may or may not be in my pocket. Today, I'm wearing shorts. I don't feel like wearing a flashlight, but if I were, I may have like an Olight i5T or i3T, which only gets up to like 300 lumens or whatever. So if I want something more powerful, I put a more powerful light in the pouch. This light also has a self-defense capability. You can buy this additional little ring right here. When you buy the light, right now it's on sale for like $1. I think full price is going to be $8. But this makes this like a formidable little setup for a self-defense purposes. This is an 850 lumen flashlight. It has all sorts of crazy little features about it. Mine's a little quirky. It has a defense mode, a tactical mode, and a lockout mode. So you can lock this flashlight. It's made of aluminum. It has a tungsten steel little glass breaker. Not really a glass breaker because you would have to punch it with your hand, but a defense weapon. And you can take that off if you want to, just by untwisting it. So there's a lot to go on with this thing. 800, or I think it's an 850 lumen max brightness. Don't quote me on that. I'll link up any of this stuff up down below. The Woobin T4 is it's an interesting one. It may sell out because of the pricing. I think it's going to be sub $60, and that makes it very, very interesting, to be honest with you. Next to that is my tried and true and tested and just has become my favorite multi-tool, the Leatherman Free P4. Now, I dabbled for a little while thinking about swapping it out with the Gerber Dual Force because of the driver being a bigger size right there, that full size driver. But this is so much heavier. It doesn't have as many tools. The Leatherman Free P4 is just, I think Leatherman's about to discontinue it. It's no longer up on their website. You only can buy it on like Amazon or Cabela's or anywhere that has it in stock before they get rid of it. But I've modified mine to add a full-size bit driver right here, which it also locks into place just like it should for a bit driver. This is fantastic. Now this gets rid of my little itch to have the Leatherman Arc, which I really wanted because I can drive bits. I keep normally loaded in here a T6 or T8, and this is a T20. Why do I have that loaded? I guess I was doing something bigger. But anyways, it's easy to swap these out. It does have a little magnetic clasp right when you put it in towards the very, very end, which is nice. And I like the fact that it still uses the locking mechanism of the Leatherman. I've also added, I had to put it in upside down and damn near backwards, but I also was able to sacrifice the file from a Leatherman curl. And so now I've added that here. So now I have that great crosscut file in the diamond file all in one. Mine's in backwards on purpose because I actually had to shave it in order to get it to lock out like properly, like the rest of like it's supposed to. I had to do a lot of different work just to get that to go. But, you know, now I have this basically how I want it. The other side I left unmodified. So I still have the scissors. I still have the little box opener that's also a slotted screwdriver. And I have the bottle cap lifter, a pair of scissors, and all that good stuff. Really great tool. So that's fantastic. Now, next to that, or actually I would say above that, is my field notes. Now, this is something I would say if you carry field notes, this one's almost full. It's almost time for me to throw something else in here. And I think I know I have additional field notes and field books. If you carry field notes or field books, like I've mentioned before, bind the end with some duct tape. I know aesthetically it doesn't look that good, but if you're actually using these things, the binding does rip pretty easily. And that's probably one thing I'm not a big fan of when it comes to field notes. And I have a tracker back here. This works with the Apple Find My network. I think it's called the Hive, a Highwee or something like that. But this thing, it actually charges with these little prongs right here. So I can charge this when I need to. You can turn it on by pushing this button right here. And so you can use this with the Find My, it just made a little beep noise. That's, you know, that it's turned on. But you can find this with your Apple's Find My network. So if I were to misplace my pouch or whatever, then I know everything is back here, still good to go. So both of those kind of live in the slip pocket back here, right below the nutsack logo. So that's all that I have here. In the actual flap of the pouch it has two little holders here, which technically you can use for whatever you want to, pencils, pens. In this case, I'm using a tactile turn, the Dark Matters pen, which is a boat action pen that has, I think it's using Pilot G2 ink, and I think I have it in black. I've changed these out before to blue or whatever. I love this pen. I've had it. It cost a lot of money. It was like $200, but I write every single day, so I can justify in my mind the pricing, I guess, right? But it makes sense for me. If you don't journal, if you don't actually use your crap, don't buy it. Don't buy the expensive stuff. You're going to regret it. You're not going to use it. It's going to get on your nerves. Here's my Tide pen. I had to replace this. I used another one all the way down to the bottom. I got kids, and my kids are a little crazy. They tend to do a lot of silly stuff, okay? So we have the Tide pen that is easy to, if you have any type of stains or whatever that you want to try to get out while you're on the go, then I would recommend that, especially if you're at a play or a recital or something like that where you don't have time for your kid for them to feel embarrassed or for you to look embarrassed or whatever. Try to use that, okay? Now, this is my favorite side of the pouch. Nutsack has really listened to us, and they gave us different size for the actual banding right here. They have the traditional MOLLE webbing, and then they have the larger stuff right here. So I love the way that they actually did this. And this is probably one of the parts of the pouch that I'm the biggest fan of. On top of this, I keep an awesome hank laying on here. Now, I don't like carrying hanks around. I talked about this plenty of times before. I think that I'm abusive to hanks. I use them to actively wipe my kids' faces. And these are, you know, $20 hanks. They're not expensive, but if you think about them in a vacuum, they are expensive because you can get a 3 or 4 pack of hanks for like $13 on Amazon. They're just the cotton hanks, or you can spend $20 on one. And then I just feel disrespectful when I carry them. But I don't want my items clasping on top of one another. That's why I have the hank in here. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't be carrying it. So let's talk about what's on this side. Now, whenever I have a knife in my pocket, the knife in my pouch is not necessarily a backup knife. It's a different type of knife, okay? I try my best to have a different type of knife in my pouch versus a backup knife because it doesn't really make sense to be a backup when I normally have a knife in my pocket. So with that being said, I do have the Boker scalpel blade knife, which is, I think, one of the best little knives that you can get for under 50 bucks. This thing costs about $35. I'll link this up for you. And it is just a full tang fixed blade little D2 knife. And I mostly use this for opening packages. That's why it has tape gunk on there. I need to clean mine up. But I love the fact that you could just pull this thing out, use it when you see fit. I don't normally like Boker stuff too much, but this is one of their bangers. It comes with its own little sheath. You can wear this as a neck knife. I don't wear it as a neck knife, but that's kind of how they have this thing set up. I normally keep mine in pouches, so that makes life a lot easier. So that kind of goes right through that little molly area and slips down into that slip pocket. Next to that is a 6-in-1 charger. So it has USB-A, Lightning, and then if you uncap that, it has 2 USB-C ports. And so you can use that for USB-C, or if you need to just cap the Lightning back on and go to USB-C to USB to Lightning or whatever, a lot of different options for you. Or you can throw this on and go from USB-A to USB-C. And this thing goes up to 100 watts. This is a very powerful, small little cable, and it lets you get some ultimate fast charging. And I like this because it's super small. It has it nice and rigid here. And I can just keep this in the pouch. And I have a battery bank in here that we'll talk about here in a second. Now, recently, I was kind of taking a look at Big Idea Designs cards that they came out, right? And I thought they were a little laughable. You get 8 cards for $30. And back in the day of trading cards, I can remember that $30 would have got you a ton of cards. But you know what? That post by Big Idea Design reminded me that I have a man card that I don't carry very often. So I want to put it back into the rotation to carry it just for, I have pocket trash, guys. Can you believe it? I have pocket art that I'm carrying. This is the man card by Jeremy Cyrus. It's a solid piece of brass with a artist rendition of him on the front. I think it looks pretty freaking awesome. This is a great talking point to pull out at a cigar lounge. Use this as a little paperweight at a cigar lounge. There's a lot of fans blowing around or whatever. And there's sometimes I don't want my items blown all over the place if I'm sitting there writing or something like that. So I'll pull this out, set it on top of a page that I'm writing on. And then people will say, hey, what the hell is that? Mine needs more patina. So I'm going to actually put it back into the pouch. And yeah, I like this thing. This thing is actually pretty cool. So I've been rocking the man card back again. Behind that is a bottle cap lifter and a can opener for a soda or pop can opener. Okay, this is called the O-Shed or O-Shield copper can opener or whatever the hell they call it. It's made of a solid piece of copper. This is American made. I like this thing a lot. It's branded by O-Shed, which is one of our O-Light companies, but it's an American made item. And you can use this right here, this tip right here, to pop open actual cans of Dr. Pepper or whatever, if your nails are too short, or if your wife, you don't want her to mess up her nails or whatever. And then this is a bottle cap lifter right here, so you can bust open a Corona or whatever. So, and then this right here technically is just like a big old lanyard, but you can kind of use it for a boat if you were able to find one that kind of fit the bill. This is also a talking piece, not needed. But I'm back into cigar season. I'm back, I've joined a membership at a local cigar lounge, and it's a BYOB. So I keep booze there, and I go there pretty often on my bike. And this is just something nice. Sometimes it's nice to flex. Sometimes you got to jump out the woods and flex on people. And that's why that's the purpose of these 2 items, is to flex. Now, I have room for other stuff, but I'm not going to stuff this bag. I don't need to, right? I got plenty of other stuff I could put in here, but why? Why should I do it, right? So behind it is my favorite SAK, hands down, Swiss Army knife, nail clippers, and it struggles on the thumb, but other than the thumb, these nail clippers are so goated. You can get the thumb, you just have to push it down a little bit harder. But I love these things. They have the knife. And, you know, Victorinox just announced that they're about to make their first Swiss Army knife that won't have a knife in it. I thought that was interesting. So I thought they had the SAK Jet Setter, which doesn't have a knife in it. Maybe I'm tripping. I thought they made the Jet Setter, which only had scissors. Somebody comment down below. Maybe I'm wrong. But it has everything that I need. Tweezers, a toothpick, nail clippers. I use this all the time. My nails grow crazy fast. So behind that, because I primarily use this when I go to cigar lounges or whatever, I do keep a brass Zippo with a butane insert. Now this thing here, double jet insert, which I use, like I said, cigar lounges. It's a fire starter. It's nice to have. I love to fidget with it. That's my only version of a fidget toy. And then behind all of that is another slip pocket. And in this slip pocket, my battery bank for that cord that you saw earlier. This is a Nicore 10,000 milliamp hour battery bank, which it's probably at like 75%. And then it does power delivery with the USB-C port. It also does power delivery with the USB-A port, which is rare for these type of battery chargers. 10,000 milliamp hours means I can charge my phone about 2 times before this thing dies. That's great. And I actually jacked up my Benchmade cigar cutter. I lost some parts trying to put it back together. So Benchmade would normally just send you out screws. They're really good about that. But I sent it in for them to do a spa service to it anyway. But you have to keep your sheath. You're not supposed to send your sheath in. So I kept the sheath, and I just put in a guillotine style cutter for now until I get my Benchmade cutter back. And I have it in my Benchmade holder. So that's normally for my Benchmade holder. And I think that's it. So yeah, that's it. So that makes life a lot easier, not overly stuffing your pouch. You don't need tons of stuff in your EDC pouch. This pouch, I will say, is nice. Okay. This is kind of nice to be able to keep this on my little area, my storage area for where I dump my keys at. And I could just grab this whole thing, my wallet and a pocket knife, and walk out the door. I actually have been a really big fan of that. If I want to, I can put my wallet in the front pocket because I leave it empty and literally just hold this. I walk it around the store and I will hold this in the store and just walk around and get whatever I need. So this has been a really nice solution to have. It's been nice to throw into bags. It's been nice to take to cigar shops. It's been nice to just take out with me for any specific occasion. We're going to someone's house or whatever. The price on this is like, I think $150, maybe $39. Don't quote me on that. All this stuff will be linked up down below, man. So it's very, very interesting. What am I missing from my EDC pouch? Should I get rid of my pocket art? Have I fallen into the meme territory? I don't think so. I think that it's an item that I quite enjoy, and I'm going to continue to carry it. If this is your first time stopping by, hit the subscribe button. I would love to have you a part of the battalion. Listen, the Discord is back. Linked in the description of this video will be the Discord server. Feel free to join, shoot the shit in there, have a good time. I would love to see you in the Discord. So go to themarinex.com/Discord or click the link in the description to rejoin the Discord. For all my channel members, I appreciate you once again. You're able to help me produce this type of content by being able to buy some of this stuff, and that's very well appreciated. For everyone else, we'll speak soon.